Just don't say anything weird. Or do say something weird. I don't know. Maybe people want to hear it. Birds aren't real. I will say this. I haven't seen a baby pigeon, but we do every spring. We get baby birds in our outdoor stairwell at our apartment complex.
Yeah.
They've been loud this year. So birds might, the baby birds, that birds might be real. Pigeons aren't real, but birds might be. I have no idea. I don't think it really moved much. The angle and the tilt, but
I feel like we're okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey, is it still rolling? Still recording?
Yeah.
Numbers going at the top?
Oh, red numbers at the top.
Cool.
I gotta pee though real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You're fine. Maybe I'll just sit here while Brock is gone. It's just us. God, I'm weird. Why am I like this? Coffee's good, though. I'm going to be done with this before he even gets back. You want to hear a really bad joke? Oh, I bet you he puts this in. Horse walks into a bar. Never mind. I think he's coming back. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, I see you here every day. Do you feel like you're an alcoholic? You were fast. I was going to tell a joke to the camera. We'll just have to wait.
What's that?
I was talking to myself in here. Delete all of it.
Oh.
I was going to tell a joke, but it didn't happen. I think if you pinch and zoom a little bit, does it do it?
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like whose face track should I have?
I don't want to volunteer myself.
We'll do the guitar in the background.
Do it, yeah.
I can't even read my writing.
Okay.
No.
We'll squint at it really hard.
Packed way too much stuff.
I can read some of it.
That's why we use a computer for our whiteboard and not dry erase marker.
It's very clear. All right. Today, it's fancy coffee. It's Cuvée. I found it at Sprouts. It was on sale.
I thought it was Suvet.
Am
I reading it
I don't
wrong?
know. I have no idea. You could be right. I could be right. It could be something else. But it's mocha whole bean coffee. It's actually, I've been drinking this at home. But I put cream and sugar, and that's what I drink at home.
Mocha? So it'd be a little chocolate?
I think there's mocha in it. Hopefully I grabbed the right bag.
One day I'm going to remember to bring ice
telling
cubes.
you, it's really weird that I'm starting to like it a little bit. It's like I'm enjoying hot black coffee for podcast time.
Sprouts. I like Sprouts. Sprouts is a good little...
You want to know? And, hey, put this in. If you ever want to get good on sale stuff that's not out of date, go to Sprouts. I have on more than one occasion found 99-cent per pound ground beef. That's like, you got at least a week till it's out of date. If you're freezing, you're good to go. Yeah, so I go there regularly trying to find that deal again. Maybe one day.
They don't do Sushi Wednesday, though.
No, they do. It's just $6 instead of $5. So
I feel like they're robbing you.
They are robbing you for $1 because Publix has got that $5.
Publix.
I love
the
Publix.
Best.
I love Publix. Publix sponsor me or don't. I don't know.
What would they do if they sponsored you?
Oh God!
Would you want free sushi? Like, what would you negotiate in your deal of sponsorship?
Bunch of gear.
Publix
gear.
shirt?
Yeah, I don't even care. Give me a green shirt. Give me a hoodie.
Green staff.
Because you can't buy like official licensed merchandise Publix stuff. It's all like they're very secretive about it.
It's not bad.
I like a monthly stipend for like Publix branded things, like not food staples, but like the bakery or like one fried chicken. Although I shouldn't say fried chicken. Rotisserie chicken.
One rotisserie chicken a week.
Yeah. Oh, dude. That'd be a game
and
changer.
pay for itself.
I'd be so happy.
That's it.
All right. Well, we're back. Another episode of Coffee with Coach. And this time we're going over some pet peeves, or as the kids say, the ick.
The
Right?
ick.
We've got a couple of icks that we have both as coaches, but also as if we've been members. Mine apply more to, and we'll get to this later, but like things I've seen, not necessarily here, because I don't want to call out our coaches, but things I've seen in general.
All right.
So we want to start with being a member, or we're going to start with being a coach?
I think, what do members do that give coaches the ick?
Everything. No, sorry.
So full disclosure, I'm guilty of every one that I'm going to bring
Sure.
about and talk about.
Probably.
I
We've
have
all done it.
100% tried not to do it frequently, but I can say, admittedly, as I went through the practice of narrowing it down to just 3, that I've been guilty of every single one. So,
all right. Well, what's number 1 for you?
Oh, what do members do that give me the ick as a coach? I think the older I get, the more important it is, but I put a lot of time in my warm-ups to get people prepared to train and for what that workout's going to demand of them.
Yeah.
And when they kind of like half it in a warm-up, or they choose to skip some things, or they don't take serious, hey, I'd like for you to bike at a 7 out of 10. You know, there's a reason why I ask people to sit in pigeon pose for a minute and not just go through the motions.
Yeah, we're like, you're up there trying to prepare them and give them success. And then 6 months later, they're like, oh, my hips still are tight. It's like, yeah, because you never did pigeon when I asked you to do pigeon, and you're not listening. Like, I think that actually tacks onto one of mine is like, I'm not just telling you stuff to see what happens. Yeah. Like when I give someone a coaching cue, my number 1 would be when I give someone a coaching cue, I know that sometimes it's hard for them to apply it, but when they straight up just disregard it of just like, oh, I've only been doing CrossFit for 12 years and maybe I have your best interest in mind, but no, you have your own thing you're doing. So yeah. Kind of like yours where it's like, you're disregarding something that we find incredibly important and that we also know probably through experience is going to move that needle for them. And they're like, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah. And this is like, it's literally only an example. I'm not saying anybody specific, but it's like
name names.
The auto mechanic is going to skip the warm up that somebody who has been training CrossFit athletes for 15 years wants to do.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, you're coming to class in an effort to improve your fitness. Trust that we are putting the time into helping you in all areas of your fitness, mobility, proper warm up, proper cool down. You know, if we want you to kind of progress through some things, it's for a reason. And a lot of times I use the warm up to kind of mock or mimic what we're going to do in the workout that day.
Right.
Because it helps athletes understand, oh, I'm going from the bike to the bar to the barbell, or the bike, the rig to barbell, or whatever it might be. So the warm up will help kind of inform how the workout's going to progress and what it's going to feel like, and help you make good decisions.
Yeah.
And not just, all right, guys, you got 10 minutes, get yourself loose, and we're going to hit the Murph.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, God. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing to go with what you're saying, kind of both of our number ones, is there is so much more intention put behind what we do in here than I think most people realize. And while a lot of times we're up there being buddy, having fun, telling jokes, doing icebreakers, there's constant background noise in our heads of like, we are trying very hard to give you the best day, the best hour possible, but the best day possible. And like the program, the warm up, the cool down, everything has intent behind it. And so we're not just up there kind of throwing spaghetti at a wall, seeing what's going to stick. It's like, no, we know what's going to help you. And so like, I think for a lot of our athletes, what they could take from this is saying, oh shoot, when coach is being really annoying about something, it's probably because they know how important it is.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to do is talk to you next week about an injury you got because you didn't prepare to warm up properly. And it's like, now you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not able to attend classes regularly. So I know for me, the warm up is critical. It, in my opinion, is the most important thing that we'll do for our athletes. But not taking it serious or skipping pieces that you don't want or not doing the things that are asked is just it's a little bit of an ick for me.
To hit on something there, the piece you're skipping is the one you need the most, and
Probably.
you know it. Look, you know it, right? Is, oh, I don't want to do the 70, 80, 90% ramp up on that echo bike because I hate the echo bike. Maybe you hate the echo bike because you're never
doing
prepping it.
70,
Yeah,
80,
and then you get on that bike and go full 100%. Your heart rate spikes and workout's already over in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You can tell it fires us up. All right, I'll go with my number 2, and then you can go your number 2. Mine is people who come in and want to act like they're not part of the group. Like they're in a group class and they want to act like it's their one-on-one personal training session, whether they want to get ahead of what's happening in class or new people require a lot of attention. I think we're all accepting of that, but it's like somebody who wants to draw the coach's attention away it just because they want it, not because they need it. And I think to me, it bugs me because it's like, you're a part of a group. Everyone has a collective goal to get through this hour, and you're taking that away from other people.
Yeah. What do you think about the member that is like, is it okay if I just do the squat portion today and not the Metcon?
I always give them a hard why. What's going on? It's never, yeah, sure, whatever. It's, are you injured? Do we need to modify? Is it a time thing? And if it's like a one-off, sometimes I'm okay with that. But if it's like an every time, I'm just like, hey, why don't you just do open gym?
Yeah.
Why don't you? I mean, look, you can see the workout, go do your own thing, but be out of the way. So yeah, there are rare circumstances where I'm like, hey, I get it. 99% of the time, I'm like, why?
What about the member that is, Echo Bike's program, but they want to do the Concept 2 bike?
Oh, they know me. I'll take all the seats from the C2 bike if I have to. It's, there are, again, circumstances where that might be an effective scaling option, or there might be a reason behind why the C2 bike is better for them in a circumstance. But again, 99% of the time, you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You're just being a baby.
Yeah. And I think the reality is as a coach, as you're in tune with your athletes and your members, you know why they're choosing
I know every single time.
Skip a session here or to, their toes to bars were programmed and we're trying to get athletes better at that skill. So we're telling them, hey, no V-up sit-ups as an option. Everybody's on the rig, and they just kind of look at that as like, well, I really don't want to do that. And what ends up happening is they just don't get better. They don't progress. They don't see progress in their training. And then it's frustrating, and then frustration turns into now I'm picking and choosing and then lack of attention. And then before you know it, 6 months down the road, they're just like, why am I coming if I'm not seeing the results that I want to see and stuff?
Yeah. There's a lot to it. And I think that sort of element of, going back to the intention thing of like, unless you have very specific fitness goals and you're seeking personal training, like you're part of the group and you're part of the group program, and the group program is meant to move everyone forward. You're part of that. Like you're accounted for in that. So going out of your way to seek special treatment, you're almost disrupting a plan that was set in place to get you better, and I think sometimes athletes don't realize like the amount of time we spend thinking about like, oh shoot, we've got X amount of people who have this big gap. Okay, we're going to address that gap. And hey, maybe you're the outlier who's great at handstand push-ups, but you're going to get even better. So what's the problem? Anyway, what's your number 2?
Being late to class.
Yeah.
There's hey, the school across the street had a bus breakdown. I'm running a little bit behind. And then there's just I'm going to be late because I don't want to go through a warm up, or I'm going to be like, listen, it is a sign of how you respect
Mm-hmm.
others.
Yeah.
To show up on time or early.
Yeah.
And do you need to be here 30 minutes early? No. But man, when you're 15 to 20 minutes late,
it's
you might as well have told me that I'm ugly or I'm stupid or my breasts like it's
yeah.
just a disrespect.
Yeah. Well,
flat out.
I think the chronically late athlete. There are some circumstances, like I had an athlete once, and we had a long conversation about her lateness, and it was a work thing, and her exact commute, and we sat down and talked about it, was like she was the best she could do was 5 minutes late, and I said, all right, because it was our last class of the day. Yep. This was years ago, and I was like, all right, we will have an agreement that when you come in, though, you gotta get through the warm up because I'm already moving on, and once you catch up, we can figure this out, but we need to make sure we're on the same page and you're doing your best. There are other people who just don't care.
Yeah.
And if you're always 5 minutes late, especially in the mornings, can you not wake up 5 minutes earlier? My commute, 30 plus minutes during normal traffic hours, 22 minutes in the morning. It's like, I think that the biggest thing is it's a lack of care also for your own fitness. Like I kind of tell people when they're late one time, I'm like, what's your workout? And what I mean by that is like, you disrupted your workout. You made your workout worse. And so, making the effort to be on time, you're making an effort to also make your workout better. So not only are you disrespecting the class and the coach, but really the worst part is you're disrespecting yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to make the effort or it just doesn't matter enough to you. And it's like, then we see that in like, they go through the motions here. Maybe they aren't doing the extra mobility that they need. And ultimately you're losing the purpose of like virtuosity, which is what we're trying to do here. So, yeah.
I think, the first part of every class begins with a whiteboard brief where we discuss the workout, the intention behind the workout, maybe thoughts and strategies around the workout, ways to modify or adjust it to make it fit where you are in your fitness journey.
Yep.
And there's a lot of value in that conversation. And someone who is late or misses that or isn't there inevitably is going to be the person that asks questions. What are we doing today?
Yep.
What's going on? And it might only feel like you're 5 minutes late to class, but now I've got to spend 2 minutes regurgitating the whiteboard brief. I've got to remind so-and-so of, thoughts and scales and 15 minutes have been taken up because I have to dedicate time, energy, and effort into you understanding something that I've already told everybody else. And if members of the class are saying things like, oh, he's showing up on his time or her time, then that might be a small indication that they're noticing it, people are noticing it, and it's just...
They might be joking about it, but they are also peeved.
What's that... A lot of truth is said in jest.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh, that's a great quote.
I mean,
we got one of our coaches. I think it's funny. He'll be like, "Welcome to the 5:38 class."
Oh,
because we don't have it's 5:30, but like he'll be nice and loud when someone comes in, and I'm like, honestly, like the call out bugs the person who's late, but the point is, I'm not gonna call you out if you're on time or early. You'll never hear it from me if you're early.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely that. And also the person who's late probably isn't the person who read the week in advance. We got athletes in here who talk to me like on Monday about Friday. And I'm like, it's Monday.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're reading it. I'm happy that you're so prepared. But the person who's coming late also is not the person reading the workouts ahead of time. It's not the person who's doing the warm up and the cool down and their extra mobility and their accessories. So like it points to a larger systemic issue as to why their fitness isn't getting better.
Yeah.
So, and again, we're talking about pet peeves, but it's because we care. We want people to get better.
Right.
So, all right, what's your number 3?
All right. Not disclosing your injuries or what you're working through.
Yeah.
Not, hey, my shoulder feels a little tweaked, or man, I was playing with my kids last night and my low back is just feeling a little off.
Yeah.
No matter how great you think that is, that information I can use to make better decisions for you and your workout. So I rolled out of bed and sneezed at the same time and it threw my back out. That's what happens when you get old. Uh,
I had a similar moment with
but
my oblique.
if I walk into a class and it's a heavy deadlift that
Mhm.
day, and I don't let the coach know, hey man, I had this thing happen last night, you know, they're going to be there cheering me on, rooting me
Mhm.
on to push harder and go
Yep.
heavier, or, you know, get after it more. And the whole time I'm just sitting there in excruciating pain,
Yeah.
and it snowballs to where it doesn't need to snowball.
I think a lot of it comes from like fear of disappointing us too. Because I've had athletes be like, "Yeah, I just didn't want you to like think I let you down," and I'm like, you don't control when your knee twists, right? Your body sometimes does things that I can't control, you can't
Yeah.
control, nobody, and it just happens. There are fluke incidents, and
Yeah.
when stuff like that happens, we also have the tools and resources of maybe trying to support before it gets to the level of physical therapy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, oh, my shoulder's bugging me every time I do this. Well, why didn't you tell me? Because now there are things that are so micro that unless you tell me to look for it, I'm probably not going to see it as a coach.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I say, oh, do this and this. And like, wow, it feels better. I've been in pain for 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could have told me 6 months ago,
Right.
prevented long-term damage or just irritation. Then people stop showing up for movements. It's like, no. Bug me with your bugs, right?
Yeah.
Annoy me with, hey, my hip hurts. Because it might just be, yeah, we did a lot of squatting. Of course your hip hurts.
Yep.
Or it could be like, oh man, that's out of the ordinary. Let's sit down and take 20 minutes to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we understand the difference between I'm a little sore from what the last few days have challenged me with, versus, man, when I do this movement, I have excruciating pain or sharp pain. Like there's a nuance there that I think as coaches we make sure we're prepared to handle.
Yeah.
And the last thing we'd ever want anybody to do is to just gut through an injury.
Never.
But at the same time, if doing kettlebell swings lights up your low back, we can lighten the load on the kettlebell swing. We could do a different movement. Maybe we go hang dumbbell snatch. We could just PVC pipe and work snatch technique. I mean, there's 1,000. We could burpee. There's 1,000 things we can do to kind of make that workout appropriate for where you're at and what you're working through.
And we can figure out the systemic issue as to why it's happening, right? So this goes to a higher level thing of, hey, I got low back pain, not soreness, pain every time I kettlebell swing. But we see them in other positions, no pain, right? They can clean, they can snatch. Similar position, different sort of load, different sort of issue. And so then we can actually start solving, right? If it's always just like, I'm going to gut it out because it doesn't really matter. It's like, no, maybe that leads to a whole different area of your fitness. We can correct it and then move on and get better. Like, so there's so many reasons why, like, I don't want to say hiding because I don't think athletes are deliberately hiding injuries from us. But like you said, not disclosing it kind of keeps us from being able to help you.
Yeah.
So, all right, my number 3. This was more of an old school thing and it needs to come back, is not cleaning up before everybody's done.
Oh, so I have that from the members.
Oh, nice. Okay. We actually have some overlaps here. That's going to be fun. So as a coach, I'm also a human being and I also sometimes feel really awkward. If I'm the only person cheering on somebody at the end of class and everyone else is done, I am noticing how awkward that probably feels for said individual and me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just like following them around like a lost puppy. But if we have a group of people who are less focused on cleaning up their stuff and more focused on, hey, this is a teammate, right? We're in a class together. We're a part of a team, and getting them through the end of their workout, it's a respectful thing to do. It also keeps people motivated, even though, hey, I'm last. They care about my fitness, and they're not just missing me. Like, oh, the better athletes never care how I do. It's like, no, they do. They just don't show it. And so for me, I'm like, hey, help me out as a coach and be a part of this too.
Yeah, I think, all right, Colton Mertens did Fran probably faster than any human being on earth, right? If the workout that day is prescribed as Fran, if he does the 95s with the pull-ups, he's going to get done in 1:40.
Yeah.
The new athlete who for the first time is using a 95-pound barbell is going to have a vastly different exposure to a stimulus than what he will.
Exactly.
So the options as a coach if I want to get both people to feel that Fran lung, I've either got to lighten the load on the new member, or I've got to challenge Colton with some heavier weights, higher skills.
Right.
You know, assuming my goal is to get everybody to finish, let's say, around 6 minutes, okay? Which is a really good time. So if Colton does the 95-pound bar and finishes at 140, this athlete who's continuing to work hard and challenge their fitness and really get after it could really use the support of somebody who's gone through that feeling at one point and understands what they're going through. And I think when you're trying to create a great experience for everybody, you know, as a coach, I'm going to tell Colton, hey, let's go a little heavier today. Sure. Let's really get after it. But if he decided he wanted to stay at 95, Colton, you're going to finish fast. Man, we could really use you as a cheerleader for Jim, who is brand new. Yeah. And the best CrossFitters I've ever been around have always been the one that when they get done, they're looking to see who they can help push to their next level.
I mean, you watch it on like a semifinals floor. You know, there are some people like, that's disrespectful. They're disrespecting their... No, because they're going to be last in something. That's the cool thing about CrossFit is you're probably going to be first in something and last in something and in the middle a lot. And the other thing is we've all come from that place. I mean, my first Fran was 7 and change, almost 8 minutes. My second Fran was 2.5 minutes faster. And my fastest Fran is less than a third of that time, right? But I know what that journey's like. And so if I, as an athlete, not a coach, as an athlete, do Fran in, I don't know, 2:15, and we got another athlete who's still on their first round of Fran, it is helpful to hear, hey, I've been there before. You can still do this. You can hang on. I believe in you, you know? And I think it's one thing to have a coach say they believe in you, because sometimes it's just like, the coach has to believe in me. And I mean, it's not just that we have to. It's I think every athlete has a ton of potential, and that's why I push people. But I think it sometimes means more to some people to hear that the really good athlete in that class also believes in them. Yeah. Because that thing goes, this person that I look up to, that I train with every day, is recognizing that I'm working hard. Right. And I think that's a big part of fitness, is like, that's why you come to a group setting, is because we're all working hard together. And if together stops being together as soon as I'm done with the workout, it kind of feels crappy.
Yeah, it feels a little weird. Yeah. Feels weird for sure.
Cool. All right. Let's pivot. Now as a member, just as a person in class, not coaching, not being in charge, what are some of your pet peeves there?
Oh, that coaches do? Yeah. If a coach does not know how to create an awesome environment with their music, I'm a little perturbed. Okay. I don't want to be listening to Celine Dion trying to deadlift for a 1 rep max.
Why not?
I don't know.
Does your heart not go on in a deadlift?
I love Taylor Swift. Yeah, I mean, you know, when it's time to go hard and heavy, the last thing I want is chill vibes.
Yeah, I think there is, and I struggle with this mostly because like I'm playing music all day, every day, and to me, I'm like, I've heard the song 1,000 times, but this member hasn't heard it at all today. But there definitely is, especially on something like a max out day, if it's not loud, and maybe it doesn't have to be angry, but like it can't be loud, flowery pop.
Well, and the flip side is, if the coach has something important to say, a cue or a piece of advice they want to give generally to all athletes, turn the music down. Oh, yeah. There's no, like, don't yell over music that no one can hear you.
It's an art form as a coach to be able to, one, have a message that you want to say, and also recognize the environment isn't conducive to that. Yeah. And like to manage the volume effectively. Yeah. Because here's the thing: is like you'll turn it down, and then you forget to turn it back up. Or you turn it up and you forget to turn it down. Or you forget, hey, we wanted heavy metal because we're 1 rep maxing our deadlift, but then we got a 5K row, and if that person screams into that microphone one more time, I'm going to get off my rower and leave. Right? There's layers to it. There's levels to it of like, and I'll tell you this: I am no maestro. Yeah. I am still working on my musical success, if you will, as a coach.
But I'm also not the member that is going to say, hey, can you play Lil Wayne? You know what I mean? Like,
I probably won't speak up about it.
I want to let the coach create their environment, their atmosphere as a member. But
I do also have an opinion as both an athlete and a coach that, like, if you're listening to the music that closely, the music's there to just keep you from hating life.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be your number one favorite song every time you work out. And like, if you're somebody who's a metalhead,
Yeah.
also recognize most people aren't.
Yeah.
Coach never plays metal. I'm like, yeah, because people stop showing up to this class.
No one likes it.
Like, every once in a while, I'll put on some Corn because, hey, we're getting aggressive with a back squat. But like, we gotta also play in the realm. But yeah, I think it does bug me as an athlete if I'm working out and I can hear my breathing more than I can hear the music.
Yeah,
it gets me. All right, I'm a snacker, and I might scarf a protein bar between 3:30 and 4:30 because I'm lightheaded.
Oh,
but I try to get it done before I'm doing my brief. One of my pet peeves as a member is like when the coach is in the middle of eating and they're chowing down and giving a brief. That gets me because it's like, yo, your nutrition is not more important than this class right now.
Yeah, and let's be honest, like, it's none of us are, so needing of nutrition at very specific times that we can't just wait.
Well, and also if you're that good, you probably got sponsors and you're not wasting your time doing other things. Not that coaching's a waste of time, but you probably got bigger priorities than to coach a block of 3 hours straight.
I'll be chewing on a protein.
Yeah. Like, if I have 5 minutes, I'm like, quickly do it. Okay, I'm done before I start talking. Right? If I'm calling the 3:30 class up and I'm still eating, like, I should have done better.
Yeah.
And I think, generally speaking, that lumps in with another one is like, if you spend more time, like if the coach is on their phone, like this one thing, if like, hey, the music sucks and they're fixing that, okay, because we use our phones, we use Spotify. But if I could tell they're texting their girlfriend or, ordering Uber Eats or whatever, it's like, you don't care about this. Don't coach.
Yeah.
Don't coach if you don't care.
Yeah.
And I think those little things of being distracted mid-coaching, that bugs me.
Yeah.
Because I do my best to limit my distractions. Sorry. All right. That's what's your next one?
Man, again, going back to how important warm-ups are, I feel. If I'm taking a class and I can tell the coach is a little unprepared or they're not good with how they progress or manage a warm-up, it bothers me a lot. It bothers me to see a coach just kind of check a box. Yeah, we had a move, or hey guys, we're about to go for a 1 rep max deadlift. Give me a 200-meter jog, and then you come back in and straight to the barbell with the deadlift. Like, they're, an erratic warm-up, a warm-up that's not well thought out, tends to lead to a class that is discombobulated. People are all over the board. People are taking restroom breaks when they need to be ready to get moving on the Metcon. Like, be prepared, have a plan, know where you want to go with everything, know the timing of everything, transitions, just show up to class ready to help people improve.
Yeah, you're setting the tone. I mean, we start with setting the tone with the whiteboard brief, but then really once you get moving, if you're not doing it right, it becomes herding cats.
Yeah.
And as a member, you're sitting there, and my struggle is I basically only take classes here. And as the head coach, I'm like, I can't get feedback in this moment, but like, I can feel it coming off the rails, and I never want to undermine a coach as an athlete. I'd usually try to support or like give them little nudges, like, hey, why is the music so quiet? And try to be funny about it. But like, there definitely is a thing where I'm like, I'm already watching you lose the room. Yeah. And like, as an athlete, I can't help but keep my coach's mind on and go, all right, I hope they can get it back. Yeah. And like, because I think both you and I have this responsibility in this gym, is like, if we have to intervene a little bit more than just like a helpful nudge to a coach, that starts to stress me out more than it, and then I can't have a good class, right? And I think, so a good warm up and kind of having people flowing once they start moving around and they're not just eyes on a whiteboard, that really tells me a lot about how this class is going to go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Got 5 minutes.
Well, my number 3 is quick.
All right, let's go.
We already hit it, but it's just in the reverse. If a coach shows up late to class, like, there's one thing to, hey, nobody showed up yet and I start class late because I don't have athletes in front of me. But if I'm late as a coach, like, the highway better be on fire, right? Yep. There must be 20 trains all onto train tracks you couldn't get, because like, being late as a coach basically tells everyone, like, I don't care and you don't care either. Yep. I guess it goes back to my other one of like, I need the coach to care, and I want my class started on time, because like, If we start running late, I got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
So
Be a professional.
Yeah. For sure.
Simple. Be a professional. Be on time. Look like you care. Act like you care. Greet people by their first name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, celebrate the small wins.
Yep.
Like, be a professional.
And then on top of that, you know, we definitely have some parts of our day where classes are back to back to back. And the one big skill as a coach is if one class runs late, because they all run, you know, within a couple minutes, but some classes take longer than others to get through stuff. Knowing how to pivot and catch back up.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a incredible skill. And when I'm an athlete coming in, like, oh shoot, that class was 10 minutes late, so that might mean my class can be 20 minutes late. If I see a coach do that as a member, I'm like, that's what's up. That's talent right there. So yeah, I like to feel, because I'm a person who's early to things. I like to feel like whoever's running the thing I'm at was also early and ready to go. What's your third?
Oh, I think it's a skill. It's an art form, but you have to, as a member looking at a coach, understand that they do have a responsibility to coach and teach and instruct. And they also have a responsibility to be a cheerleader and create an awesome experience. Mm-hmm. But if a coach doesn't understand when they need to be either, and they only cheerlead and never provide feedback, or they only provide feedback but never kind of create an awesome experience, it becomes a class that just doesn't feel good. And if the coach, in an effort to coach, hyper focuses on one individual while the rest of the class is ready to go with the Metcon, or, you know, coach said, hey guys, we're going to start this workout in 2 minutes. And then they start teaching something to somebody who's new that now is bled into 6 minutes. Well, these athletes over here have sat patiently waiting for 4 minutes, which is a long time.
You're getting cold. You're getting annoyed. You're ready to start your workout. Some people have butterflies and then anxiety starts to eat them alive. There's so many things to that. And I had an instance recently, and somebody was asking me about, like, how do I use grips? And we were talking about, you know, different ways and how. And I said, F it. The whole class is going to get a deep dive on grips. So instead of saying, hey, I'm going to deep dive for this one person's need, I'm going to teach it to the whole room, because somebody who already uses them probably got better using them in that session, right? And those who have never asked and never really knew that there was more to do than just put them on your hands and hope for the best, they got better. So, like, again, setting a vibe and knowing how to flow through class as a coach is a skill. Yeah. And I like it when I'm in a class where the coach is skilled about that, where I'm like, oh shoot, you know what? I know how to use grips. I've been using them for 8 years, but I got better for my warm up, or I got, you know, I remembered something that I forgot. Like, those things really make a difference as a coach.
I've been CrossFitting for 15 years, and I don't need all the attention. Most attention I really don't want, but I would like some attention.
A little bit,
you know, coach me.
Speaking of timeliness, I got 1 minute to go coach a class, but I'm ready. I'm prepared.
Better not be late.
Like, subscribe, share, comment, send it to your grandma. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Adios.
Sick. I think that was our longest one we've done.
Yeah, we cut it close.
That's okay.
Tacos from the cookery. Don't ever get them.
That's okay.
It's going to take you forever.